Hi, everybody. This is a short practice just to help you get a little movement into a day where you might not have much movement, to get in touch with your breath, to get in touch with your body, and just to have a nice little miniature practice. So we're going to start in a seat, sitting comfortably. I always like to elevate my sitting bones. It would be a good idea to do so, particularly if your knees are higher up than your hips. We want the knees to be able to drop down, whether you're sitting cross-legged or with the feet more tucked in. So we have a nice neutral spine with the sacrum and the back of the head in the same line. So some of us kind of reach forward here. We really want to stack. Okay, so you can make any adjustments to feel grounded and balanced and alert, but also relaxed. And if you like, you can close your eyes or turn your gaze downward, but really we're bringing the gaze inward. Coming into the present moment by noticing what's coming in through the field of sensation, through the sensory field. So you might notice where the body meets the floor. Touch of air on your skin. Any sounds your ears are picking up. And then bring your awareness in to the tidal rhythm of your breathing. Allow your breath to retain its organic quality, its kind of quality of spontaneity, and at the same time, see if you can make the breath a little more three-dimensional. So often our breath is focused front body, so really want to bring the breath into the sides of the torso, particularly into the backs of the lungs. So the back in general, the back of the rib cage, maybe the lower back of the rib cage. So this three-dimensional quality, like gradually inflating a balloon and then letting it deflate. So let's maintain this organic quality of the breath, the three-dimensional quality of the breath, and add on this Ujjayi quality, this soft sounding breath quality. Some people call it the Darth Vader breath. So you might just bring into your mind's eye or mind's ear how Darth Vader sounds when he breathes. And we're going to try to make that similar sound, but if you can, softer, quieter. So if you're unfamiliar with Ujjayi breath, Ujjayi, you can start by imagining you're exhaling and fogging up glass. So mouth open. I'm trying that a couple more times, breathing in comfortably, three-dimensionally, and then exhale. And this next time that you breathe out, close your lips about halfway through that sounding exhalation. See if you can maintain the sound. And breathing in normally, comfortably, without the sound, if this is a new practice for you, and try to keep the lips closed the whole time with that sounding breath. So what's actually causing this is a little constriction in the back of the throat. And you might be able to feel the breath a little bit more in the back of the throat. And we work with the same inquiry on the inhalation. So like you're removing fog from glass. Feel the coolness of the breath in the back of the throat. And then see if you can close the lips about halfway through or at some point midway through-ish. Still retaining that soft sound. And then we try to put it all together so the lips stay closed, the teeth are parted, so there's no tension or minimal tension. We're not adding any tension to the jaw. And we're creating this soft sounding breath on the inhale and on the exhale. Focusing on the sound and the sensation of your breath will help to anchor you even more firmly in the present moment. So if this is a newer approach to breathing for you, the breath might be quite loud, and that's okay. That's kind of how we find and begin to develop skill, is by kind of exaggerating. And then over time, we want to work, this might be days, weeks, months, years of practice to make the breath softer, quieter. Many instructors, yoga instructors, teach a loud breath, and I disagree about that based on what I've practiced, what I've learned from instructors and so on. So you can decide what works best for you, but really our ultimate trajectory in the path of yoga is to the subtle, right? From gross to subtle. So let's sit for just about another minute with this Ujjayi breath. Breath still has this three-dimensional quality. So if your eyes are closed, you can open them up. We can keep this Ujjayi breath going throughout our little asana, our little movement practice. So you can keep returning, anchoring to the breath with the soft sound. And let's come to all fours, tabletop. Spread through your fingers. Wrists are directly beneath the shoulders. Knees are beneath the hips, or you can walk them in slightly. And we have a neutral pelvis here. So if you're kind of tucked under, we want to change that. So the sacrum is parallel to the floor pretty much. Rooting evenly through each finger, rooting especially through the bases of your thumbs. Let's have toes tucked under so we get a little more awakening for the feet. And now we're going to change that pelvic orientation. We're just kind of centering in here in cat-cow. So with your inhalation, you can drop your belly, lift your chest. Try not to let the head drop back too much, crunch the neck, but gaze can rise too. Exhale, rounding your spine in cat pose. Let's repeat a few more times. This is breath-driven movement. Inhale, rolling through the spine. And exhale, rolling through the spine. So see if you can really articulate. The movement starts from the tilt of the pelvis, forward or back, and then working through one vertebra at a time as best you can to find cat and cow. One more time, maintaining your Ujjayi Pranayama, your Ujjayi breath. From here, we'll stay on the knees, coming off of the hands. Knees are about hip width apart. And for some of us, we're gonna kind of be poked back here. So we wanna try to root through the knees and bring the pelvis forward. So we've got this stacking of pelvis and ribs and head. With your inhalation, sweep the arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale back into child's pose. You can leave toes untucked for this one. Let's bring arms alongside the body or backs of the hands to the sacrum. Inhale, drive through the knees to rise up. Send your hips forward. Reaching, actually really reaching up toward the ceiling. Exhale, arms sweep wide. The hands will naturally flip so the palms are up. Head can come all the way down. Few more times, riding the breath. Palms can face or be pointed forward. About one more time here, depending on your pace, your breath. And then we'll come back to tabletop, spreading through the fingers. Let's have the knees a little bit inward, so a little bit forward of the hips rather than directly beneath. And let's tuck the toes under again, kind of walk your toes toward your knees. Pelvis doesn't move here for a little scapular movement, so protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades. Let your heart, let your chest dip toward the floor, the shoulder blades move toward the spine, and then lift up out of the shoulder blades, move away from the spine. Evenly rooting through the hands. You can have a little external rotation, like you're dialing your hands out slightly, but they're not moving. Head is in line with the spine. Breath is in the foreground of awareness. Okay, and then let's try to keep toes tucked under and sit back onto the heels. Some of you might make that more accessible by sitting on a block on top of the lower legs. And from here, we'll circle the wrists. So you can bring the bases of your wrists together and then turn your palms away from you. Bring the backs of the hands together and then keep circling around. Go in the other direction. Okay, and then you can just kind of shake out the hands here. And from here, we'll keep toes tucked under if possible. You're driving the knees down into the ground. See how that brings the pelvis forward. You can even engage your buttock muscles here. Inhale, reach the arms up. This time, exhale, plant the hands round through the spine, cat pose. Finding your rhythm here, root to rise. Really reach through the arms. Don't pull the shoulders down here. When the arms are up, the shoulders elevate. Exhale with control, hands root down and puffing up through the back. About 3 more times. Last one. From here, we'll oscillate between cow pose and child's pose. So maybe you untuck your toes here now. Inhale, arching through your spine, stretching the skin of the belly, and really drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale, start to tuck the tailbone under as the hips go back to the heels. Hands can slide forward, head coming down to child's pose. So let the hands just slide forward and back here. The hands slide toward you, arch to your back bend, and then round through the spine. Try to really get that spinal flexion, chin moving toward the knees. Rooting through each finger, each knuckle, especially the bases of the thumbs. One more time. And then from child's pose, we'll come to the back of the mat a bit. And we'll oscillate between child's pose and cobra pose. Okay, so with your inhalation, elbows stay close to the body. We root the pelvis, lift the chest. Exhale, hips back toward the heels into child's pose. Try that a few more times. Inhaling to cobra and exhaling back to child's. Following your breath. Kind of dip down here, active through the legs. Elbows are hugging in toward the midline in your cobra and on the way forward and back from child's. Couple more times here. Take your time, lowering with control, dragging the navel forward. You can stay really low here. And then after your last child's pose, whenever that is for you, we'll come back up to all fours and just flip the palms up, fingers still point forward. And then it's less of a pressing down as a little kind of dragging back. So the hands aren't really moving, but there's that energy as if they were. And just to stretch out the wrists a little bit. Flip the hands back to their normal setting. Rooting through each finger. And try not to sink into the wrist, shifting the weight forward, more into the knuckles. Inhale to cow. This is our back bend in tabletop. Exhale, toes tucked under, downward facing dog. Your inhale, knees land lightly at the same time. Pull the chest forward through the gate of the arms. And then try to initiate your Transition to down dog by lifting from the inner belly and lifting the hips up. Knees can stay bent the whole time. A few more times here, inhaling, cow. Exhaling, down dog. We're protracting, shoulder blades are moving away from the spine. Hands are dialing outward, so that's that isometric. They're not really moving, but external rotation. One more time, inhaling to cow. Exhaling to down dog. And then we'll lower the knees down to the ground and come into a wide-legged child's pose. The knees as wide as is comfortable. We're not trying to go crazy wide here. Big toes touch. Let your hips settle back toward your heels and slide the hands and the arms forward. Head can come down. Let's take it over to the left side, walking the hands over to the left. Keep the hands, well, hands just rooting on the ground. And we're reaching over to the left and drawing the right hip back in opposition. Last breath here, still with Ujjayi Pranayama, soft sounding breath. Take it over to the right. Creep the hands a little further away from you. Draw your hip back, left hip especially, moving back. Breathing into the back body. Come back to center. Reach the arms forward, hands shoulder width apart or wider. And then without moving the hands, kind of push the floor away. Down and away. Breathe into your back. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. You kind of roll through the spine to rise up. And we'll come to sit. So maybe sitting in hero's pose, virasana. You can take your block in whatever setting you need it to be. If you need high setting, I would probably instead stack a couple of blocks. Got this handy cushion that's kind of like a block sitting in between the feet in virasana, hero's pose. You can sit a different way if that's better for you. And then I'm just going to take one twist here. And you're not sitting on your blocks, you might have a block behind you, or if you are sitting on your blocks, you might have a block behind you, so your hand can be on the floor without kind of leaning back to get to you. So we'll twist to the right, left hand somewhere on the outside of the right leg, walking your right hand back behind you. Some of you can take your hand to your left heel. So I get a grip on that with fingers forward. And we're really taking this right shoulder back. So feel that right shoulder blade moving toward the spine and down the back. And then just go easy with the neck here. Like maybe the nose is in line with the sternum, or just a gentle twist toward the right shoulder. Soft sounding breath. Gently unwind your spine, coming back through to center, twisting to the left, right hand somewhere on the outer left leg. You can walk your left hand back behind you. Maybe hand is on a block if you have to kind of lean back to get to the floor, or you can bring your left hand all the way behind you to grip your right heel. Either way, we're taking this left shoulder back away from the center of the chest and shoulder blade moving down the back. Go easy with your neck. So we're really cultivating more of the twist from center than from a cranking of the neck. Ujjayi Pranayama. Gradually, gently unwind your spine. Hands can come to rest on the legs. Close your eyes. Spine rising, head floating. And then just let go of any control over your breath. Let the Ujjayi sound go. And watch the breath coming in and going out. Chin is slightly down, so lift up through the back skull. If you were to open your eyes, you wouldn't want to be looking up at the ceiling. You'd want to be looking straight ahead, chin down, not up. That's it, not too far down. Yep, there we go. We'll just sit for about 1 more minute here. So there's like a sensation of the back skull sliding slightly upward. Breath is in the foreground of awareness, just watching and listening and being here. You might like to stay in meditation for some time. If you have time, you might like to come into Shavasana, lying on your back to fully rest. Or this could be a prelude to a longer practice. So we opened up the spine in its different ways and got some movement, a little bit of heat and attention to the breath. So this could be your warm up for a bigger practice. I hope whatever you do for the rest of this day, this practice has helped you to feel a little more grounded, a little freer in your body, a little more present. Thank you.